What's up, Derek? So, mouse is off. Yeah, so I'll make you the video about the protein. Let me look real quick to make sure I talk about the right thing. Your comments, I'm going to do this before I start the video, but that's okay. Oh, I was going to talk about how it's made. So I sent you level 1, which is this. So we'll talk about a couple things today. First, let's talk about protein in general. Protein is not just protein. There's specific proteins for specific reasons. One is for a post-workout setting, and one is for all the rest of the times of the day, typically like a meal replacement or to help you meet your protein intake for the day, which is typically ballparking it around 1 gram per pound of body weight. So, with that being said, what you want in a post-workout protein, which I use Phormula-1. This flavor is chocolate milkshake. Tastes really good. Level 1 tasted really good. Phormula-1 tastes phenomenal. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If you like cereal, dude, tastes exactly like drinking the milk at the bottom of the bowl. It is fucking phenomenal. So anyway, taste is really good, and I'll touch on that in a few seconds. But first, I wanted to explain protein's not just protein. So when it comes to a post-workout setting, speed's king. Recovery comes, you want it to come now. Like you want to start as soon as you're done training, start the recovery process. So speed is essential. So when it comes to a post-workout setting, you want something that's a hydrolyzed whey isolate. And hydrolyzed is a really fancy term for pre-digested. So instead of it being a really long protein strand, it's been pre-digested into really like smaller ones, so it's easier and quicker to digest in the body. Good way to look at it is a Starburst pack. Instead of the Starburst pack being like this long, there's a bunch of little individual squares inside of it. It makes it easier to chew instead of just being really one long Starburst, almost like a Tootsie Roll. Hopefully you see what I'm saying there. All right, but anyway, so that's what you want in a post-workout setting. Now, you don't need that speed all the rest of the time. So like if you're looking for a snack or a meal replacement, you want something that's a little bit slower, longer digesting, lasts over a couple hours, which is what you get with level 1, which is what I sent you. It's a mix of isolate, concentrate, and casein, and egg proteins. So gives you an assimilated response over the course of several hours, which is what you want in other settings outside of the post-workout. So that's why not all proteins equal. That's why I take 2 different types of protein, level 1 and Phormula-1. Sorry, my rights and lefts are backwards when I look at myself. So why do they taste good though? Well, what makes them taste so phenomenal? Well, it comes down to how they're made. So the supplement industry is not regulated by the FDA. My hypothesis is because even though me and you are really into the fitness thing, or really into the fitness world, we probably follow a lot of the same people on Instagram. The mass population of the U.S. doesn't use supplements. I think the number I heard was like 4% of the whole population uses supplements, and the federal government can't validate spending money to validate or support, whatever the word is, I'm missing, the supplement industry, to regulate it. That's it. Because only 4% of the population uses supplements, they can't afford to spend the budget on that little 4% when they have drugs or prescription medication that's used by a lot larger population that needs to be regulated. So First Phorm does a lot of things right. So one of the things they do is they go to FDA. They are a level 3 FDA inspected facility, and you'll see it's a stamp right here. And what that means is if the FDA ever decided to regulate the supplement industry, they would pass what they needed to pass to be able to still sell their supplements. And they're also, it says right above it, CGMP facility. And what that means is if you make any consumer product, so for example, toothbrushes, toothpaste, mouthwash, things like that, that's a consumer-based consumer good. Some people use, eat, consume. You have to get certified. And because the supplement industry doesn't need to do that, First Phorm goes the extra length to ensure that their products do meet some standard. So any supplement company that does either of these two is going to put this on the label. This is something that you wear with pride. It's an honor. So almost like if you won an IFBB Pro card, you really worked for it, you're going to show it off with honor. It's the same idea. These companies spend a lot of time keeping facilities clean, keeping facilities running properly, and to maintain and keep these certifications, if you will. Now, when it comes to protein, it's a byproduct of milk. So milk's obviously a liquid. So to get the protein into the powder form, you have to get rid of that liquid. Well, getting rid of that liquid costs money, and a lot of companies base their products on profit margins. They say we want to make 4 times the amount it costs to make the product, so here's what we're going to do. And whereas Phorm based it around quality. And to dry out the protein, you can do several things. You can do a process called ion exchange, which induces chemicals, or you can dry it with heat. Now, you can apply the heat in one of 2 manners, high or low temperatures. And this is a lot like grilling. So if you grill something at a high temperature, it's black, it's charred, it tastes like crap, and you have to use a lot of barbecue sauce or A1 sauce or some other condiment to make it taste even somewhat reasonable. Whereas if you cook that at a low temperature, it's white, it's juicy, it falls apart, you really don't need any condiments, and it tastes good. It's the same idea with protein. Because high temperature is a lot quicker, therefore it's cheaper, but it yields a crappier tasting protein, whereas companies like Phorm use a lower temperature, cross-flow microfiltration process. That is what yields the better tasting protein. And the reason a lot of people hate drinking protein shakes is because a lot of companies do use that higher temperature process, which yields that lower quality protein where it doesn't mix well. It's chunky, it's chalky, it tastes really disgusting, it makes you gassy, bloated. You have to use the restroom right after you use it. It's disgusting, and people don't like that. So when you say, oh, here, try to drink a protein shake, they're like, oh, that shit's gross. But when you give them something that's high quality, manufactured in the right way, with a low temperature process like Phorm's Level-1 or Phormula-1, it tastes good and you actually look forward to drinking it. For example, I just put a Level-1 in the fridge for later today. Can't wait. It's going to be nice and cold, ice creamy. Looking forward to it. But this is the video I promised you, kind of explaining why they actually taste that good, and it's not just magic. There is a reason they taste that good, and they don't taste like any other protein. And to briefly explain what protein's not protein, there is a difference in what you need at certain times of day. So Derek, if you got any other questions, man, let me know. And if you'd like to buy some Level-1, on that card I gave you, there's a URL at the bottom. You get free shipping when you order it. If you lost the card, I can always DM you that link. And as always, man, let me know if you got questions.